Exactly. As you mentioned, they are busy counting. So many ballots have already come in through the U.S. Postal Service, but you still have just less than 2 hours to get that ballot to a collection box just like this one. And there are hundreds of these all over the place. Election workers now out here, they show up at 4 o'clock and they stay all the way until 8 o'clock, making sure ballots are safe and secure to be counted.
Yeah, my friends and I talk about who we're voting for and why, and we make sure that everybody fills out their ballots.
Right in here under your watchful eyes.
From your home to a collection or mailbox, a ballot's next step is to be sorted, first by machine, then by human eyes.
Where we're going to compare your signature against the signature that's on your voter registration record.
It's been reported that it got there, and it has been reported that my signature confirmed.
Yes, Marcia Coots is a habitual voter who tracks her ballot online to make sure she made no mistakes, which many people do make. Sometimes there's no ballot inside. Instead, election workers find things like a utility bill, even a mammogram reminder. That's a mistake that cannot be fixed, but others can.
So the mistakes that can be fixed by a voter are if they did not select a party in this election, so they didn't check that Democrat or Republican box, or if they forgot to sign, or they have a mismatching signature.
These mistakes can be fixed by filling out a form online or mailing it in by March 21st.
Now, if you made a mistake like you voted for the opposite party that you marked on your envelope, unfortunately, voters are not able to resolve that.
In that case, your ballot is included in voter turnout numbers, but your candidate will not get your vote.
Our phones have been very busy with voters expressing their displeasure about having to select a party.
But Haley Watkins tells me they also get plenty of kudos from voters, adding little thank you notes, even a hand-drawn "I voted" sticker inside the envelopes with their ballots. Back to that question of why that box has to be checked. That is state law. So election officials tell me they just have to follow state law. Now, just so that you know, that information is only kept for 60 days and then it's completely purged from the voter rolls. It is not recorded. It is not kept anywhere after that. Live in Renton, Denise Whitaker, KOMO News.
And we are joined now by KOMO News political analyst Ron Dotzauer of Strategies 360. He forgot his hat today. I noticed that. Joe Biden has already clinched enough delegates, and Donald Trump should get there later on tonight. So with that in mind, let's start with a blunt question.
Sure.
Does our primary in the state of Washington even matter?
Short answer, no.
I knew it.
No. And you know, and it never really has, to be honest with you. And you wonder why. And that's a good question to be addressed, because I think it could matter if we did a couple of changes, i.e., let's take a look at either getting into the Super Tuesday with the other states, or maybe even better, let's do Washington, Oregon, California, Alaska, Hawaii, and have a regional West primary that I think would matter. What we are doing here in Washington State, I said this earlier, we're an ATM state where candidates come in and put in the register and get their money and clear out, but they never talk to the voters. And I think if we got a regional West Coast primary going on, you know, we'd be a lot more relevant. And because we're late in the game and we're not tied to anything, it just, what you get is you get the activists, but you don't get the kind of participation that I think you need to have a really robust presidential primary system.
Well, let's talk about the primary system timing. So a few years ago, the state legislature moved up the timing by 2 months for the primary so that we would have a greater voice. Do you feel like that actually happened at all? Were you surprised that everything was wrapped up so quickly early on in the primary?
Well, you know, everybody sort of moves up too, right? We may have moved up, but a lot of other states moved up even more quickly to make themselves even more relevant. And that's what I was just describing. I think there are opportunities for us to get in the game and to be relevant and to have a presidential primary that matters. Now, we haven't had very many contested presidential primaries for the last X number of presidential years. And that sort of contributes to the non-participation as well. So we'll see how that goes. But I think changing the process to look at the regional system would really work for the state of Washington.
All right, Ron Dotzauer with Strategies 360. This season is just beginning. I know we're going to see a whole lot more of you for your insight. Thank you very much.
Yes. It'll be back, I promise.
Thanks, Ron.
And stick with KOMO for continuing coverage of the 2024 election cycle. We'll have results from today's presidential primary coming up tonight at 11, and we'll stay on top of the campaigns between now and the November election. Watch for stories right here on TV and online at KOMOnews.com.